I'm going live right now. This live stream is directly to our folks who feel a need to have conversations about such hate. And what I want to talk about when I say such hate, I'm talking about the hate on the level of, what I'm saying, where the hate on the level where we don't even understand that we're allowing this demon inside of us. We're allowing demons inside of us. You know what I'm saying? So everyone want to have a conversation about this Charlie Kirk, Charlie Baltimore Kirk Franklin character dude. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I might have seen a video or two on this cat, but yet and still, you know what I'm saying? I ain't paying too much attention to him. Why? Because what he says something to me that make me say, you know what? For me to do a Terrence Crawford, I gotta go back to the lab and I gotta do some training. So in the process of doing some training, I realized that maybe sometimes we need some new trainers. You know what I'm saying? So as I look at our lane, you know what I'm saying? Like I told you before, my very first video for YouTube, Black Man, the black lane. You have different lanes, it's like a race, and everyone's in this rat race, but our lane is discombobulated. So for years we've been saying, black man rise, you know what I'm saying? Okay, but let's take a pause for a second, even though we did that. So my thing is this. Many men have tried to lead this black lane, but for some reason, we can't really lead this black lane. So what I say to you is this. Let me take Umar Johnson. He says he's the black leader. And he's trying to lead, he's been trying to lead the lane for all this time. I said he's gonna have to be substituted. And so I'm saying like this, because no one wants to listen to me. Okay? Okay? So how about y'all just listen to this of me? What black woman, what black woman is willing to rise up? Okay? She's willing to rise up and lead our black women to get them to and develop them to become queens. Okay? And then take that energy and shift it and raise up their black sons, because black men are born from black women. And there's no way a black boy can turn into a black man without the assistance, help, or the disconnection of a black woman. So either she disconnected from the black man who made him not a man but kept him as a boy, or she raised him as a boy. But yet and still, how do we get our black women to rise up, shift, and get our black women, or should I say our black girls, to become black women, to be developed to black queens, so they can shift, turn around, and lead these young black boys that they created and develop them to become black kings, black men and black kings. No help of black man. You don't need black man. You created them. Well, you need the help of black man to create them. But how about you focus on what you can do in your lane to develop your black women to queens? Before we go and start chastising and checking other people in their lanes, I want us to truly understand that Kirk Franklin, or should I say Kirk Baltimore, whatever his name is, you know what I'm saying, whoever he is that made everyone want to have conversation about this character, I want us and our character to be so strong that we knock every competitor out. No one has anything to say about what we say. There's no rebuttal about what we say, because what we say in our lane is just factual. It's powerful. It's just an uppercut. It's just that punch. It's the punch that's needed to make that change. So my whole thing is, once we develop our lane and get the right leadership in our lane, I guarantee you that our fight, our battle will be so powerful and impactful that hurt. But like I say, first we got T's, dot those I's, get everything in check. Like I say, make boys become men, girls become women, and teach that. That's the most important thing, because everyone else in everyone lane, they are studying everyone. And we have to study. We have to study what men and women really are. And we have to respect, and we have to respect, and we have to respect what that is too. And that's the most important thing, to respect. And because there's lack of respect, that's the most important thing, respect. So once we understand the rules in our lane, those are the rules. That's the most important thing that we must do. Evil, and we must acknowledge that evil is real. Evil is real. We must understand that most of the time people become possessed. Most of the time people become possessed. And when people become possessed with the evils, it's the evils that, you know what I'm saying, channel their energy and make them become who they are. And then they be like, yo, that's not me. They be like, that's not me. So what I want y'all all to understand is the evils that's in control of you that got you want to have conversation even about this individual. Because if it was the man in you or the woman in you that had enough respect for yourself and your people, you would address that man while he was alive. And I ain't talking about online. I'm talking about publicly. You would have had an engagement with him. You would have had a real conversation with him. You would have built a panel for this man. And until we start building a panel for those enemies that you so-called say is your enemy, the ones that you want to create in your head, not knowing that you in your heart is your own enemy, I hope y'all peep that. We are our own enemy. We are our worst enemies because it's in our heart to become enemies. So if you want to have a conversation, have the conversation before the person is gone. Build a panel. For example, Donald Trump is your president, no matter what. Why haven't we, as black folks, created a platform to have a real live conversation with Donald Trump, the president? Understand what I'm saying? Can someone tell me that? Can someone tell me why all these years of Donald Trump being in this public eye, why the black folks have not orchestrated a real life conversation with this man? We can have the platforms. We can set the stage. Tyler Perry could have set that stage up. And he could use it for a real scene in the movie. Why Tyler Perry didn't take the time out? I'm gonna explain why. I'm gonna explain why we be losing out on real opportunities. Not only because of number one thing is ignorance. Real ignorance comes from hate. Number two. So the ignorance develops the hate, and the hate stops your progression. The ignorance develops the hate, and those two is a chemical, and it stops progression. And that's the most important thing we have to realize. We have to understand that we got to end that right there. Once we can end that problem, we have solved we became our own solution. We must learn to become our own solutions. And the way we become our solutions is to realize that the real problem is it's like an exorcism. You know what I'm saying? It's like the weirdest thing ever. It's like the evil. And this evil, people don't really understand, like, why does this evil have control of me? What is this evil really doing? And do we think that evil is just because a person went and grabbed that gun and shot someone? Evil is a whole lot of things. Evil is when you allow something to really control you, where you do things that you be like, what you doing this for? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying is the possession. So if we're going to talk about Kirk, whatever that dude name is, Charlie Kirk, okay? If we want to talk about Charlie Kirk, let's first talk about the evils that's within ourselves. And then we can understand the evil that was within that man. It's the evil. And if we are not identifying the evils, then we're not identifying the problem. And the evil within that man probably if you had a real conversation, you would realize that the evil that was within that man was more so like, how can I say, frustration building up in the person. You know how like most fathers are looked upon as being evil because they are frustrated and they are upset with their sons, or they're upset with their daughters, they're upset with their mothers, and they be portrayed as being evil when they chastise and check you. Oh, my dad's wicked. My dad, because he chastised and checked you. So you take dad out the picture. There's no more dad chastising and checking you. And now dad is still put in a bad bracket because he's not there for you. So when he's there for you, chastising and checking you, he's bad, he's evil, he's wicked, he's too strong, he's too stern. But then when he's out the picture, oh, he's nobody, he ain't shit, he's a deadbeat. That's the evil that's really in control of this world. And so when you step up and you do what you have to do no matter what, so that's what's needed. That's the evil. We need more men to step up and chastise no matter what. No matter what bracket you're gonna be put in, no matter what, because you're still gonna be put in the bracket of either way, get out the way, leave. We don't need you. So once we have men to really rise up from the boyhood, get out that boy stage, get off those video games, get out the coochie, stop thinking about cookies. Once you can now get your men to move and go to the next direction, you understand what I'm saying? Then you can have real leadership. But what's going to take, it's going to take our women to rise up, to show these boys what womanhood looks like, and what women respects and demands, and not just demand respect, because deserve. Okay, what women truly deserve. And that's where we at. So once we can get our lane on that level, then we can cross the line and have the real conversation with what you say is your enemy. And that's what that fool was talking about. That's what that fool was talking about. Go before y'all start doing all this rioting and protesting in the streets on everything. Cross your T's, dot your I's. We all say, nigga, please. Understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes, yes. Oh, yes, we're gonna say that. Crack it, please. We're gonna say whatever we're gonna say. Yes, we will say that. But the bottom line is, should we go huddle up and really develop a play? Do we need to huddle up and develop a play? Al Sharpton, daughter, not Dominique, the other one. Damn it, I forgot. Sorry, young lady. But is it Dominique? I can't remember. But she has this huddle. She had this huddle group every Monday. You know what I'm saying? She had this. It's called huddle. But I used to go. Mom do. Al Sharpton's my wife. You know, she used to make some really good food. You know what I'm saying? And so, go get that food at the end of the day and go to bed real good. But I used to go there because I want to get full with the energy, what the next moves was going to be. You know what I'm saying? And it was moves, but it was no moves really that I wanted to be part of 100%, if you understood what I'm saying. A lot of their moves were shifted towards a pride level, the red rainbow level. A lot of their moves were shifting that way. So a person like me, straight black man, is like, yo, man, I don't mind huddling up and politicking, but yo, where y'all moving to? So what I'm saying, we need to really have a real huddle. Everybody's making us, got a spotlight on us because they want our lane. They want our women. They want to have children that looks like us. So what we got to understand is that we need us to check us, to get us organized, to get us in unity, to get us moving forward before our lane is shut down, closed, and closed forever. And we have a detour to everyone else's lane. And because we want to have input on everyone else's lives as opposed to our own, and really what we're going to do and how we really truly going to operate and how we're going to move with love, how we're going to move with respect, how we're going to move with empathy, how we're going to move with unity. Until we have those conversations, I think every other lane is really winning. But we the comeback kids. I guess we're gonna wait for the end like glory, and then we're gonna come roaring and rioting and running and blazing glory, you know what I'm saying? But no, we can be stronger than that by us using this instead of using this. We use so much of our emotions and our heart, but we're not using our minds, the brain. The mind's a terrible thing to waste. So any person, any white person on the planet that a black person feel is your enemy and is looking upon you as nothing, I challenge us to open up the platform, bring them to the barbecue. Let's have the powwow conversation. You have YouTube, you have TikTok. Yo, it will go viral, but you have to create the platform for these people. Let's have the conversations now. Let's get it out peacefully in conversation. And if conversations don't work, can't work, then you know what I'm saying, then we Terrence Crawford out, you know what I'm saying? And y'all not seeing how that went. So my whole thing is this, folks. We gotta relax, we gotta calm down, we gotta really look at ourselves, yo, right now, for real. And I want us to truly look at ourselves and ask yourselves, are you happy with what you see? Are you happy with the person that you are? Are you happy with the family when I say the family structure? And do you want to continue these family structures? Do you want to continue building this type of ancestral bondages that we put ourselves in mentally and spiritually? And if you do, then hey, continue on. Then other lanes will continue to talk about you. But once we're really ready to release those curses, then I guarantee you this lane is going to roar. This lane going to roar like a 800 miles RPMs. You know what I'm saying? 800 RPMs. It's just going to be like, yo, what in the hell is going on over there? But we have to challenge ourselves to get our minds right, get our health right, get our spirit right, get our education right. And I ain't talking about education in their school system. I'm talking about our education on what we need to educate ourselves on right now. And what we need to educate ourselves on is money. And when I say money, I'm talking about not just money, I'm talking about how money works, currency. You let me use that word currency. Fuck money. Boys use the word money. I'm gonna use the word currency. Because we need to understand currency and how currency really can work for you. And currency is like electricity, it's a current. And you need sockets. You understand? You need panels, you need wires, you need connections. And once we understand our lane and we become that type of currency, our value will rise. And once our value rises, then everything else can continue to rise. Because we got to create a value system within our own lane. And the value system ain't just about a dollar. The value system is about what do you value in life. Me personally, I'm a not. I don't really like to tolerate nonsense. I don't really like to tolerate bullshit. I don't really like none of the above. I don't like to fight. I don't like to scream. I don't like to curse. I don't like to hit. But I will, because when I feel a demon is in presence, and people. When I first came to this internet, I told you what I know, and I'm telling you what it is. What I stand by to this day. People are allowing themselves to be possessed. I said that about Umar. I said that about his team. I said that about the building. I say that about a shitload of shit. I say that even about my own family. Females I involved myself with, boys I was with, the demon can get in you. I one time, I'm gonna show you my burn. And the dude, my homeboy said, yo, while I was in the hospital, he said, you know I'm the devil. I known that boy since I was 12. You're right. When you say to me, you know I'm the devil, when we said, yo, you know what I'm saying, y'all devilish, y'all demons, when we said this at a young age, so got slide to the left, you know what I'm saying? For real. This is what brother's doing. You know what I'm saying? The cut. That's his brother doing. Demons, demons, demons. So the problem with most of our people in the world is they channel energy. They allow, you know what I'm saying? They allow certain things to possess them. And that possession, folks, is a scary thing. When you allow this negative energy inside you. The negative energy that make you do things that it's like childish. And that's what's happening in our lane. We dressing like women are dressing like little girls. Women are running around like little girls. Boys are chasing the little girls. Boys are doing any and everything they need to do for the little girls. And other people is watching you. They spotlighting it. They even paying you to do it. And then they talking about you. And then you get mad that they paying you to do it. They spotlighting you. And they talking about you. You get mad about it. But I'm saying, why do it? Why be that entertainment for these folks? Why be that conversation for these folks? Why we spend time doing all the things that we know is not righteous and not right? To make a negative currency, to make a negative energy, to make a person act up. We have to realize that we have to be better than that. We have to become better. We have to be better than this. And the only way that we can become better than that and better than this is by realizing that we are godly people. And once we allow God in our system, there's the wicked things that we do. So that's the most important thing. We must realize that the evil is really within ourselves because we are allowing the negative currency to flow through us. And it's stopping our real currency. You understand? The negative currency that flows in our lane is stopping our progression, is stopping our real economic currency. That's the deep part of life. We create so much negative energy that we can't make the real currency because we got the negative currency flowing. That we spend so much time trying to mastermind how to be negative in this lane. And at the end of the day, it has to be slain. That negative energy has to be killed. So it's like, why create it when it's going to be, we got dead that negative energy because we got to continue to move forward no matter what. So once we understand that, people, I'm part of the rebellion. So I understand what it is. I'm a soldier. I really just scared to soldier up. Because if I really soldiered up, man, but we're going to drop that fear because we have to soldier up. And I'm saying to us, we got to clean up this lane. So we got to stop this negative energy, which is stopping the currency, the right currency from moving. And then other folks won't have no dialogue to talk about you. That's how you eliminate the shit. If you're not willing to do what that 22-year-old white boy did, he eliminated the shit. So if you're not willing to eliminate the problems that you say is evil and the problem to you that's on the other side of the gate, then you got to start from within. If you're not willing to take that out. If you're not willing to set up a stage and a platform for the conversation. Understand? Like I say, we have so much negative energy running in our currency. And that is stopping our real currency. We don't even know that, yo, do you know how much money is setting up these platforms? Give me y'all a jewel right now. All you big social media blackheads out there, and you not setting up a platform to have a real conversation. You want to do everything online? Set these platforms up so they can come down in the flesh and have the conversation. We don't need to be doing everything online. That's how you really recognize your enemy. If they are too afraid to come and speak to you eye to eye, then you really know he's an enemy. Okay? That's deep what I just said. You know your enemy if they're too afraid to speak to you eye to eye. They want to do everything telecommunication, technology. Nah, invite them in so you can have the personal. That's how they used to do in the 60s. And they used to be all up on each other, sitting there in the chair right next to Malcolm X. So if we want to have a real conversation, let's stop doing the conversations online. Somebody, Billy Carson, somebody, somebody. I don't know who got big platforms out there. Whoever was a black individual, have big platform, set up the real live stage, invest and work your ass off for your channel and get these people to come down so you can have the real life conversation like we did in the 60s, like we did in the 70s. All this online corny shit. No. Let's have the real life conversation so people can feel the real energy, folks. So you can get real results. Stop being afraid of these folks that you say is your enemy. Once again, Donald Trump should have been invited to the black community for a conversation once he became elected again. That was the hottest ticket. The black community opened the doors for conversation with Trump. We gave you more votes than any other Republican ever. That was the real conversation. But everybody want to have an evil conversation online, not paying attention to the game, how the game is really played, how currency is really exchanged. Not negative energy, not negative currency, but real currency. And that's the topic. First president to get this much black votes, first Republican white president ever to get this much black votes since Lincoln. That was a platform. So you can have him right there so you can ask him the tough questions, the real questions, not just the corny questions, the real life questions. And don't get mad at the real life answers that a real man's going to tell you, because a man's going to tell you what a man feels. And you get mad, but that's how they feel. Then you can ask them, why is it that you feel that way? Because we would like to know. Maybe your feelings can help change things. Because you might not just be speaking on just behalf of your feelings, you might be speaking on behalf of a whole lot more people's feelings towards us. So speak. That's how you have the real dialogue. Then you huddle up. Because remember, this is your enemy. Sometimes you gotta spy on your enemy, and sometimes spying on your enemy is inviting them to the party. But you know what I'm saying? Black man rise, original rebel. We need leadership. Leadership comes from real men who's not afraid of men or women, not afraid of threats. They're not afraid to stand up no matter what. They're ready to go out there and thug it out in the cold. They're ready to thug it out in the winter. They're ready to thug it out. And even if it kills them, they got to rise up to the occasion, to the occasion. Because if we want to lead, we have to show leadership. And I'm saying, folks, before we start trying to dictate and start talking and conversating about other people's lanes, let's get our lane together. So I'm looking for that black queen that's going to rise up. Like I said, she's going to rise up one day. And it got to be now. If Oprah haven't put this woman on her platform yet, then it's not going to come from a stardom type of platform. It's going to be like that rose in the concrete type shit. You heard? So who's going to be that rose in the concrete that can rise up and be that queen, that image, that star, should I say, fuck queen, that can be that star, that shining star, that bright north star that can lead like Harriet Tubman was followed. You know what I'm saying? Who could be that north star that can make that Harriet lead the women from that broken girl stage? Okay, we got to move from the broken girl stage so we can move to the women, to the strong leaders, to the queens you're supposed to be. And then I guarantee your men will follow. Your men will follow. But you got to show something right now. Your men will follow. And if they're not following, it's because something that you're doing, you probably excluding them. And if you're excluding them, then that's the problem. You can't exclude the men just because you made it to a leadership position.
Understand? Just because you made it to, that's what happens with black women. They feel like, oh, I'm a leader amongst black women. We don't need men. You stagnate yourself right there. No, we look for the black queen to rise up to get the women in check, in order, so we can really start this rebellion and move forward with the men. You can't do the rebellion by yourselves. They will annihilate you because they're using their men and their women. Pause on that. Think about that. If every other lane is using their men and women, what you think you just organize your women, and women organize, and we gonna move forward without our men? We don't need our men. And every other lane has the men and women organized. They would use their women to lure you in and be like the Trojan horse, and the men would just annihilate y'all. Because y'all be thinking that, yeah, we got to unite. Yeah, more women. Come on, more women. We need more women. And they like, no, bitches, we got our men back here, stupid. We follow our men leadership. That's what every other lane would tell you at the very end. The next thing you know, y'all wondering how y'all got back in this slavery all by yourselves now. You want to know how slavery's going to get started all over? Because women, our black women, is going to follow and go into a leadership position. And what they're going to do is going to be scary. I am scared. You know what I'm saying? When I say I'm scared, I am scared. Because if our women rise up and say that they don't need our men and they move forward, do you understand what will happen to them? Because they think that they're going to keep, women power, women power, women power. Yeah, we got to grow strong, ladies. We got to grow strong, ladies. Understand what I'm saying? While other lanes got the memo. Respect, unity, love, empathy, sharing and supporting. And they supporting their men. So every other lane of women is supporting their men. But our lane is not supporting the men. They rising to leadership position. And then what happens to that in the next 5 years? It's conquered. It's infiltrated. And that's the most important thing. And that's scary. And folks, I'm very scared for us because we are in our lane so focused on everyone else's, what they're doing in their lane, that our lane is deteriorating. It's dying. It's corrupted. And any black person was having a conversation about Kirk, and they wasn't willing to do what that 22-year-old did, if they felt any way that 22-year-old felt, you know what I'm saying? Like D.L. Hughley. I ain't hear what he had to say, but I know he got something to say. Like Roland Martin. If you really want to talk about it, I know they are going to have something to say. But you're not willing to pick up those arms to really defend the real cause. But you, no, we don't have time for that. This is revolution time. Because if we got demons that's lurking and demons that's casting spells amongst other people, and these demons are really, really organizing, and you watching it happen, and all you got to do is, then folks, you ain't doing nothing. So like I say, we looking for the women to rise up, raise up these girls, become women. I'm looking to become a queen, and then turn around and say, boys, follow. And the boys going to go into the lane. They're going to go into like cattle, and they're going to go and be developed to men. Because that's a woman's position, the nurturer. So who's going to come and nurture these seeds and help them grow and to become right spruce trees that they supposed to be? Until then, folks, talk about Charlie Kirk, Charlie, whatever his name is, and his viewpoints on us, like it really matters, is despicable. And here and now, with the black lane, it's over. It's now time for us to shut those doors down. Stop trying to get your views. Stop cooning for dollars. Stop cooning for views, you coons. Because if you're not willing to pick up the arms like that man did, all you are is a coon using YouTube and all these social media platforms just to get people to listen to you. Corny, my point. Yes, corny. So if you have any issues with what that man say, and you know his issues, what you are, jot them down, look at them, analyze them, see if they correct, or what I see if they kind of make any type of sense. And if it do make any type of fucking sense, huddle the hell up, huddle up, get organized so you can knock them out, so they ain't got nothing else to say. That's what we got to get, folks. Eliminate their conversations about you. But you need to know what their conversations is. Once you know what their conversation are, then you can know what you need to do. Organize, folks. It's not that hard, but it's extremely hard with our lane. It's not that hard, but it's extremely hard with the melanated lane, because that lane has too much evil invested in this lane. Evil has invested a lot of time, energy, and money in this lane. Okay? Once you understand that, I hope y'all peep that game I just dropped. Evil has invested a lot of time, energy in this lane, folks. It made us want to be on drugs. It made us want to be alcoholics. It made us want to abuse our bodies with sex. It made us want to be robbers and thieves and get bling bling. It made us want to do anything for jewelry. It made us want to do anything for weaves. It made us want to do anything. Yo, currency, the wrong currency, the negative currency made this lane so toxic. And that's what we need to really understand. So when other people talk about a toxic lane, and that's in the race, that while the race is going, they keep fault. You know, like after 2 faults, you get disqualified, right? But we just keep getting our chances and chances and chances and chances and chances. Oh, where is he going with that? Because it's wrong if we just go and annihilate them, right? Right? We'd be wrong if we just poison their whole race because they keep faulting, blaming everyone else, but not taking no accountability in themselves. And that's what I'm saying. We have to check our lane. We got to check ourselves. Who's at fault? That's creating these faults in our lane where we are not moving and getting our currency to roll. This man is dropping a jewel. And at the very end, everyone else is saying, yo, do you know why this planet is not moving in the speed that this planet should be moving, folks? Because they keep faulting over there. It's not going to stop our progression, but the overall chain, like, you know what I'm saying? The chain, they like the missing link of the chain of life to keep this world going in a certain manner. So either they're going to get it or we're going to enslave them and make it happen. And on that note, folks, I need y'all to keep what I just said. Either they're going to get it so they don't look like savages. They get it on their own and become that missing link in the chain of life so that this world could really revolve a certain way. Or they're going to conquer us or extinct us like roaches. And if that's what you feel, folks, if you feel what I just said was the part 2, they're going to conquer, or they're going to try to conquer us and try to extinct us. If you feel that way, but you're not willing to get your arms and do what that man did, then just get a job and, get your pension and wait for it to happen. Otherwise, if you feel that way like me, you ain't waste your time thinking about what talking about you, and you just focus on what has already been shown to you, and you huddle up, you get organized, and you become the enemy's worst enemy. And the enemy's worst enemy is a person that can eat, sleep, and shelter themselves without their help. The enemy's worst enemy is a person that could be off their radar. So once you can learn to get off their radar, folks, you then become their worst enemy. Now you have to organize with other folks that's off their radar. So let's get off the radar. Let's get organized. Let's have some fun. Let's make some positive babies with right energy. The currency will grow. But until then, folks, I don't know what's going to happen. So, like I said, until that happens, I don't know. When we take someone's life without understanding the consequences, it is inevitable that we are moving towards disaster. I don't know much about Charlie, me neither, Charlie Kirk, but he never chose violence. And that's why and you know what, I'm gonna put this up because I'm not supporting this character, but I'm just saying in the last statement you said, but he never chose violence. And on that statement, you know what I'm saying, he never chose violence. That's why I say to you folks, you know what I'm saying, in the black lane, there's no reason why if you had an issue or problem with that man, we didn't set up a stage for him. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason why Jennifer Hudson didn't set up a stage for him to have a conversation. There's no reason why Tamala, whatever her name is, didn't set up a stage to have a conversation with him. There's no reason why Judge Brown didn't set up his platform to have a conversation with him online. So my whole thing is why, or no reason why Oprah didn't set up a platform to have a conversation. Farrakhan, Al Sharpton, I don't give a flying fluke who it is. There's no reason why the people didn't set up a stage for him to have a real conversation to really analyze the shit and to understand the shit. But the bottom line is we didn't do the violence. It was that little white 22-year-old because a lot of white people just violent like that. For real, they put us on the spotlight of being violent. But yo, realistically, you guys are the hunters. White folks are the real hunters. So once we can get that acknowledged, then the real assassinators, you understand what I'm saying? The real murderers and killers, you understand? Stop fucking playing, folks. Like I said, the black folks gotta get their lane together because technically you're really not that mother effing bad. You heard? But what kills you is the fact that you want the spotlight. You want to stay in the spotlight. You think that being in the spotlight is good, but you're only going to stay in the spotlight for the negative things. Although it's really not you that's really the most devious ones. But you got to wake up, though, folks, because you can't keep following that blueprint. You got to wake up. You got to wake up. This is not a game. So I say all this so we can wake up and realize that it's later than what we think. You know what I'm saying? Let this death of this man and the murder in the sun way too long. You know what I'm saying? And you know when you sit in the sun too long, it overheats the phone. So yeah, my bad. Just trying to finish up this live though. Trying to finish up this live. Black folks have some of the best culture and traditional value. Let them take for. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what you're saying. Black folks have some of the best cultural and traditional value. Let them take forward the bastion of love. You know what I'm saying? Love, exactly. And once you understand that, folks, then you understand that's called respect. But if you don't respect what it is, and you want people, if you don't respect what you have, but then you demand other people to respect it, but you don't respect it, then that's a problem. And the way you respect it is with love. You know what I'm saying? So, once again, know the rules. What's the rules? Respect, unity, love, empathy, sharing, support. You know, showing support. And that's the most basic things. But if we don't do that in our lane, like I say, other lanes are going to check you. If we are pimping our lanes, if we are destroying our lanes with drugs, although we could say all day, oh, but the drugs ain't coming from us, but we are still taking it and we are trying to profit off it in our own lanes and things like that, that's really a problem. And so what I'm saying to you folks is that If you don't want what you consider your enemies talking about you, then it's very important and imperative for you to cross the T's, dot the I's, and stop, shucking and jiving and cooning, but start being part of participating. You know what I'm saying? Really participating. Like one thing they said about this character Umar, what they say about Umar, they said that, in which I mean, I already said it. I said the first time I was out there, and I told y'all this. I said, yo, I walked the community, I walked the neighborhood. I said, and around the corner is the campus. You know what I'm saying? Here you have this, you have this church, you have that, you have. There's so many little things in that community, and this is like the second year of him having a school, and he didn't make no real connections because he wanted to still go all around the country chasing cooning for dollars. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying cooning for dollars. You got the community which you have your building that you've raised the money for, and you're not building the bridge in that community to take over that community in the way that you can take over it, but yet still you cooning for dollars. That's the negative currency I'm talking about. And that's what too many of us be doing. We be chasing the wrong money, and we're not really building with the right money. So my whole thing is we focus on trying to chase money, the fast life money, the fast money. Oh, I need this money, I need that money, but we're not willing to build with what we have. That's why when I start my youth program, I say, yo, we're gonna do this, and I say I want to teach the youth to build with the least valuable things, such as recyclable bottles and cans. I need some water. So I say, yo, we're gonna build a community-based program operating off of bottles and cans because we're gonna take the most simplest dollar, the recycles, and we're gonna build from there. I felt that was very important to do. You know what I'm saying? To build. I felt that was very important to do because by doing that, folks, that was going to really. So yeah, folks. So yeah, as I was saying, it's very important for us to rise up, and we're going to do so. But first, we have to realize that our lane is infested with evil. And until our women wake up and save us, our ladies are in trouble. All right? Thank you for your listening, your support. Peace.